Yo, what the fuck's up, everybody? Welcome back to Euphoria. So today we're going to be talking about UFC 231. We're going to recap that. Then we're going to hit up looking forward to UFC 232. And then we're just going to talk about MMA news in general. And then I got a Twitter rant. My mentions have been blowing up over this whole Max Holloway, Conor McGregor business. So we're going to get to that towards the end of it. But we'll go ahead and start with 231 recap. The fight card overall was pretty sick. Main event, of course, was a bloodbath. Had Brian T. City Ortega versus Max Holloway. And Maxie baby. That dude's a scrapper. But we'll start from the bottom up. We're just going to go through a few notable fights that stuck out to me. The card kicked off with Thiago Santos versus Jimmy Manuwa. And that card was, that fight was insane. Two guys just came in and just wanted to brawl. Literally, at any point during that fight, either one of those guys, both of them got rocked. They both could have been put out like that. Thiago Santos, he was at middleweight. He was at 185 pounds. And this is his first fight at light heavyweight at 205 pounds. And boy, he looked good. He looked healthy. That 185 cut was always, it looks pretty bad, but that's like a three or four fight losing streak for Jimmy Manuwa now. Jimmy has came in there the last few fights and just tried to like knock these dudes' heads off, but Thiago looked good. Then we had the co-main event, which was Valentina Shevchenko versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Man, I thought Joanna had this, but Valentina looked strong in this weight class. She looked real good. Joanna looked, pretty good also, but I feel like this was a little more one-sided than the broadcast told. I felt like a little bit of a narrative was being pushed, but because the first three, you could argue first four rounds were dominance by Valentina. Towards the end of the fight, Joanna started to wake up, but it was too late by then. Valentina had already taken her down 5 times, I think, which was a new record for her. Pretty badass. Yep. And then the main event, of course, you had Max Holloway versus Brian T. City Ortega. And Brian didn't look bad. Max Holloway is just that good. Max, absolutely. There's no argument. There isn't. McGregor fans, I know. But he is the best featherweight of all time. The best featherweight of all time. Let's real quick take a look at everybody's beat. You have... So he just beat Ortega, beat Jose Aldo twice, Anthony Pettis, Ricardo Lamas, Jeremy Stevens, Charles Oliveira, Cub Swanson, Cole Miller, Akira, you got Clay Collard, Andre Fili. But of course, everybody's going to hang on to the last, the fight he lost, 5 years ago when he lost to Conor. It was a decision. It was unanimous. It wasn't very close, but 5 years ago, and people think that Max is the same fighter he was 5 years ago, which is fucking stupid. He's had 13 fights. He's been on a 13-fight win streak since that. But you can go through a lot of those names, and you could say, well, Conor beat him too. You're right, and Conor's great. Conor's amazing. But I don't want to get to my Twitter rant. I gotta save that for the end because I could go on forever. But yeah, overall this card it was pretty good. It was pretty good. It had a lot of really good fights. A lot of the undercard was pretty good too. Now let's go ahead and look forward to what we got this weekend. We got Kevin Lee versus Ally Aquinta. Oh, yeah. This is their second fight. Al Iaquinta won last time, like UFC 169. But this card, you got Al Iaquinta versus Kevin Lee. You got Edson Barboza versus Dan Hooker. That should be a badass fight. Rob Font versus Sergio Pettis. Should be another good ass fight. Jim Miller versus Charles Oliveira. Another good fight. Undercard. It's pretty man. You got Bobby Green fighting on the other card. Yeah, this is gonna be good though. Kevin Lee looks a lot better than the last time he fought Iaquinta, so that's gonna be a good ass fight. And I would say over the past year and a half, Lee is just like, you can see the progression. Yeah, he lost to Tony. Everybody loses to Tony. Tony Ferguson's a freak, but I think Kevin Lee he's in a good spot to take that fight. Yeah, if you remember, Iaquinta, went 5 rounds with Khabib, all 5 rounds, and he didn't look too bad. He looked bad, but that's just because Khabib makes everybody look bad. Has nothing to do with him. He went all 5 rounds, did everything he could. Just when Khabib gets a hold of you, you're not moving. So the Iaquinta Lee fight should be good. That whole main card looks pretty fire. And then we have UFC 232. This fight it has the potential to be one of the best cards of the year. We'll start on the undercard. You have Ryan Hall versus BJ Penn. Ryan Hall was on The Ultimate Fighter a few years ago. A lot of people remember him. And, he's, heel hooks. He loves his heel hooks. And he's going up against another, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and BJ Penn. And a lot of people don't like this fight because they feel like... So BJ Penn came back after, a layoff, and he's lost, a few fights. And people think that Ryan Hall doesn't have that knockout power, to put BJ Penn out. So a lot of people think that the UFC put this match together so, it could be more, a grappling match. But I was just listening to Kenny Florian, who's going to be cornering Ryan Hall on the Anakin Florian podcast. Shout out to them. I love them. And he's going to be cornering Ryan Hall, and he says Ryan's got a lot more than just, his heel hook and his submission game. He's been trying to round himself out more as a fighter. So I'm looking forward to that. That looks, that fight looks pretty cool. As we go on, we got Kat Zingano versus Megan Anderson. But now, whenever Megan came into the UFC, she went straight in and fought Holly Holm. A lot of people gave the fight, including myself and Megan Anderson, because of her size, her strength. But Holly's a tough girl. Dismantled her. This fight with Kat Zingano, it's pretty. Kat's 10-3, and Megan's 8-3. There's a 4-inch reach. Or no, a 6-inch reach, excuse me. Got like a 7-inch leg reach, Megan does a lot of controlling the inside of the octagon, backing her opponents down, so that should be a good fight. And then as we go on, we have the main event of the prelim card, which is Andrei Arlovski versus Walt Harris. Pitbull back at it. Walt hadn't looked very good the last few fights, but neither has Arlovski. This fight's probably going to end in a knockout, if I'm being honest. It's probably about Walt Harris. I don't know. I've always been like I say, over the past few years, I've been a pretty big, me and a couple guys that I know have been a pretty big advocate for like Arlovski not fighting. Like you watch this guy, and he's just been knocked out so much. It's almost like scary. He's got that he reminds me a lot of like Roy Nelson. They've been knocked out so damn much. It's scary watching those kind of guys fight. I think there should be like a threshold. When you get knocked out a certain amount of times in your mixed martial arts career, you should not be able to fight no more. That should be like a safety thing. Like, that's fucking crazy. Especially with all the CTE and all these brain injuries that are coming up from these fighters and football players. Like, that's insane. right. What we got next? We got. Then we go to the main card, where we kick it off with Ilir Latifi versus Corey Anderson. Latifi, that's a bad man. So is Corey Anderson. This will be a good fight. Lost my spot. Lost my spot. Both come off wins. You got number 5 in the world in the light heavyweight division versus number 9. That's pretty good. I haven't looked at too many of these undercard fights. That's why I'm not talking much. I'm kind of just looking at everything. Obviously, I've looked at the main event and the co-main event religiously, but the fights leading up to it, I haven't really looked at it so much. Corey's a slight favorite in this match. I don't know. Latifi's a bad dude. What we got next? We got Carlos, a natural born killer Condit, who hasn't looked very good since he came back. But it's Carlos Condit versus Michael Chiesa, a.k.a. the guy that is suing Conor McGregor because he threw a dolly through the window and cut his eye open. They both haven't looked very good lately. Chiesa's probably a slight favorite, but you can never count out Carlos Condit. Yeah, you just can't do it. As you can tell, I'm just kind of briefly going over these fights. I got a lot more I want to talk about. And then we have the co-main event. We have Chris Cyborg versus Amanda Nunes. This is a fight that we've wanted for a while. I think we've been, as a community, we've been bitching to this for like a year now. You know, once Nunes just started wiping the floor, and then there was rumor of like Cyborg coming in, and once she got into the UFC, everybody was like, oh, and then everybody's like, oh, we gotta see this. And then once she won the belt, everybody was like, all right, we gotta see this. Like, we gotta see like the cross, you know, champ versus champ. You know, it's gonna be for the featherweight. Excuse me. Yeah, it's gonna be for the featherweight title belt. So, Cyborg's going to be defending her belt to Amanda Nunes. Oh man, this is going to be a badass fight. Here's my prediction. And it's going to be a typical cliche prediction, but like Cyborg's got the advantage long term. I think Nunes has the advantage short term. God, I don't even know if I could say that, if I'm being honest. I don't know if I can bet against Cyborg. Cyborg is so fucking good. Jesus. Oh, Cyborg wins that fight. Cyborg wins that fight. Alright, let's go ahead and talk about the main event. The main event, Jon Jones is back. Back after his suspension. And he's won against Alexander Gustafsson. This fight has the potential to be one of alright. So this is the second time they fought. They have the potential to have the second best fight of all time following their first fight. Their first fight was the best fight ever, in my opinion. I think that fight was That fight was fought. That could win either way. Either one of those guys could have won that fight. They beat the shit out of each other too. Very technical, just timing. If you haven't watched that fight or you haven't watched it in a while, go back and watch it. I went back and watched it the other day. Jesus, I don't know. I think Alex you could make a strong argument that Gustafsson should have won that fight. But anyway, they have, let's see what Vegas. Vegas has got the odds at Jones minus 320, Gustafsson plus 260. Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe I'd put the spread a little closer, but it's whatever. But this fight's gonna be awesome, man. I know I got friends and a lot of people are ready for this fight, man. A lot of people are excited to see John Jones back, man. I lost a lot of faith in Jones when he failed his last drug test, if I'm being completely honest. But I'm glad he's back. Like, I had like a knee-jerk reaction to be like, no, fuck John Jones and this and that, man. But that John's crazy, man. Goat. One of the goats. It's gonna be a good fight. Let's talk about some of the shit. See what else I want to talk about, though. I don't want to delve too much. I'm not an analyst. I'm not an analyst. I can't break down fights very well. I do a little bit, but I just like talking about it. We have, what else we got? Oh, Gunnar Nelson and Alex Oliveira, Cowboy Oliveira. That fight, oh my God. That fight, it was pretty even. And then you just saw Gunnar land this elbow that left a gash in the forehead of Alex Oliveira. If you have not seen his scar, or his soon to be scar with 27 stitches in it, I'm gonna put it on the screen right now. Look at that. Are you serious? And if you haven't watched the clip, you need to go watch it. I'm not going to play it for copyright issues, but goodness. All right, what else want to talk about? All right, we got Frankie Edgar. He's saying if there's anybody to stop Max Holloway, it would be him. I'd watch it. Sign me up. But I don't know, man. The UFC seems to be pushing for Holloway to go up to 155 to fight either, just from this, all the speculation through the community is Khabib, Conor, or Tony. And it's tricky because you don't want to take Tony away from the Khabib fight, but Khabib's gonna be, his hearing for that shit that happened in Vegas a couple months ago isn't until January. But I mean, because Tony has earned his shot at Khabib. He's earned a shot at that belt, and just throw Max in the mix and stuff like that. I would like to see Khabib and Tony fight. I don't want that to be touched. We 4 or 5 times now we've had that ruined, and nobody wants that ruined anymore. We want to keep that fight intact. So what I want to see happen is Conor versus Max again at 155 this time. So I'm gonna go on my rant now. So Chael Sonnen tweeted out the other day and tagged Conor. He's like, because everybody was calling Max Holloway the featherweight GOAT, which is, and Conor subtweeted, retweeted it out and was like, I beat both these fools, so what does that make me or whatever? It makes you great. But we have to make a definition of what the greatest in that division, the GOAT of that division. What does that mean? Does it mean who you've beat? Is it your retainability in that division? Is it the title defenses? What are we looking at on the resume to determine GOAT status of a division? Like, you can look at Demetrius Johnson. That is a GOAT of flyweight. That is a man that won the title, defended it 13 times. He lost Henry Cejudo, but he had already beat Henry, so there was supposed to be a rubber match, but he's gone to one championship or whatever. So that's a GOAT of a division. Anderson Silva is a GOAT of the middleweight division. John Jones is the GOAT of the light heavyweight division. And I can confidently say that, and I can confidently name GOATs of every division, and that's why I will say that Max Holloway is the GOAT of the featherweight division. Reason being is Conor is a two-time world champion. He was the featherweight and he was the lightweight champion at the same time. That makes him one of the best fighters to ever do it. And I will not argue that. But to be a featherweight, to be the greatest featherweight of all time, you would have to clean out your division, which both of them did. Conor cleaned out the division, including Max, and Max cleaned out the whole division except Conor. So there is that caveat. But they both cleaned out their divisions of who they could fight, and they fought them all. Max didn't have the opportunity to fight Conor again because Conor switched weight classes. So right there, they both cleaned out their division. Conor went up. Max stayed. Max fought Jose twice, beat him twice. And so he defended his belt. He defended his belt a few different times. Conor got the belt and got stripped. Conor is a two-weight world champion that got stripped for inactivity 2 times. That is a GOAT. That is what people want to call a GOAT. Listen, Conor is great. Conor is fucking amazing, and I will not deny that. But you cannot honestly sit there and be like, yeah, he's the GOAT of the featherweights. He cleaned out the division, got to the top, knocked out Jose in 13 seconds, which would never happen again. Let's be completely honest. You're insane if you think he would knock out Jose in 13 again, and then leaves the division to go up and fight Eddie Alvarez, who he also smoked. There was no retainability. He didn't stay and defend his throne. He didn't solidify himself as the greatest featherweight of all time. Max cleaned out his division, beat Jose twice, beat TC, and he still wants to defend his throne. That is a featherweight GOAT. He is the greatest in that division. Conor got it left, got stripped for inactivity. Got the lightweight, got stripped for inactivity again. That's not a fucking GOAT. Please understand that, Twitter. My mentions this week have been insane with Conor McGregor fans saying exactly what I just said. Or against exactly what I just said. It's frustrating. Because I've never denied Conor's greatness. He is insane. But please know what we're defining as the greatest in a division. Because that matters. It does matter. Alright, there's my Twitter rant. Because I feel my blood pressure going up. What else we got on news, bro? There was some controversy with Tyron Woodley and Colby Covington and Dana White. T. Wood still thinks he's getting not a fair shake from the UFC. And when it comes to, he just had surgery, and the UFC when you get, Colby in there to fight him and all this stuff. So T. Wood's still pretty pissed about that. Ortega is going to get a 6-month medical suspension for that fight. I'm glad. That dude got fucked up, and that fight should have been stopped sooner. That dude was just walking forward and eating Holloway's punches. I get it. They can't call the fight because he was still responsive. He was still throwing. He was still landing, too. So, it's whatever there. Good fight, though. What else we got here? John Kavanaugh, Conor McGregor's coach, said he would. A lot of people misinterpreted this article or whatever, but it's like John Kavanaugh said he doesn't know if Conor will compete again, but he would have to be convinced to corner if he does fight. A lot of people took this out of context. He said he would corner him if he fought, Khabib or Tony or stuff like that, but it would just be those other fights because of the John is like, for somebody who coaches Conor McGregor, he is a polar opposite of his personality. John is very respected in his community. He's not the trash talker. He's a very polite guy. He likes to get along with people. But a lot of people took this out of context. They're like, "Oh, John doesn't want to coach Conor." No, that's not what it meant. if it's anybody other than a top tier, in John's opinion, it would have to be like Khabib, Tony, stuff like that. John said he doesn't know because the lack of motivation. John wants Conor to succeed. John doesn't care about all that other bullshit that Conor does. He doesn't give a crap about that. All right. What else we got? Dustin Poirier called out Tony, which I think is insane. I mean, Dustin deserves something, but it's not Tony. Oh my God! All right, since the last time we talked, we had Robbie Lawler versus Ben Askren announced, which was the polar opposite of what everybody thought. Because if you were to follow Ben Askren on Twitter, you would have thought it was going to be anybody else in that division, like Darren Till, anybody in that, like Jorge Masvidal, anybody. It could have, he was calling out everybody in that entire top 10. And they went with Robbie Lawler, which is the one he didn't call out. Who was I think Michelle Sonnen had a theory on why they chose Lawler. It's like Askren has never done well with strikers. And Askren and Dana White don't get along. They haven't for a while, since all that stuff happened a few years ago. But Chael's theory was like Dana wanted to give Ben the hardest amount of time with a fight because Ben's talked all this shit, and if he comes in and gets wrecked in his first fight, Dana will be I told you so, I proved my point, you're not supposed to be in the UFC. But that was just a theory, though. I doubt it's the truth, but it was fun. We got any more news? It's good to be back on here. Hope you guys have enjoyed this for sure. I know Nick Diaz is talking about going to Bellator. Not much more on that, though. I think that's pretty much everything. Yeah, I think that might be it. We're going to close out then, sure. I know the last time I did this, I said that I was going to be doing this more often. Life has happened. I've had a few things go not my way, over the past, I'd say a couple months. But, I'm going to try to get back on this. I love mixed martial arts. I love the sport. And I love doing this. So I'm going to try to be on here. I'm going to try to still have some guests. Still have some people who say they want to come on and talk about this. I'm gonna be having another episode come out in a couple of days. We'll cover some more news, talk about some more hype leading up to the fight. If you go ahead and smash a like on this YouTube video if you're watching on YouTube. I'm also going to be uploading it to Podbean and Spotify. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Take it easy, guys.